What's goody YTBC? What's good boxing head fight fans? B Marsh here with another boxing video. So I've been thinking about the heavyweight scope these days, you know what I'm saying, and how, ever since Tyson Fury got Klitschko out of there, I mean he ain't knock him out, but basically dethroned him. It opened up the heavyweight scope. It opened up the big picture of the heavyweight scene, you know what I mean? And it's made the division more interesting. So, I'm feeling kind of nostalgic and all that, you know what I'm saying? I had to take it back and about to talk about a fight we never got to see as fight fans, you know what I mean? And that's a fight between Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis, you know what I mean? Now, I consider Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe to be two of the four best heavyweights of the 90s. Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and Mike Tyson, you know what I mean? And three of those guys fought each other. Lennox Lewis, Tyson, Holyfield, they all fought each other. But Riddick Bowe ain't never forget to fight Mike Tyson or Lennox Lewis. But one fight that was sure that was for sure that could be made that could be made to happen would have been Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe in 1993. You know what I mean? So these guys, they had history. They have history. Their history goes back to the 1988 Seoul Korea Olympics, where they fought. They both were fighting for the gold in the heavyweight division, and Lennox Lewis beat Riddick Bowe in 2 rounds in the gold medal match in the Olympics in 1988. So Lennox Lewis got the gold, and Riddick Bowe settled for silver. And the fight only went 2 rounds, you know what I mean? But it was kind of stopped controversially in the second round, you know what I mean? Lennox Lewis, he got a couple. He hit Riddick Bowe with a couple right hands. So you know how the scoring system is in the amateurs. He got rocked, so he had two standing 8 counts, and by the second 8 count, the ref just stopped the fight. It was very controversial. And Lennox Lewis became a gold medalist right then and there. You know what I mean? In the first round, I had Riddick Bowe. From what I remember, he definitely was hitting. He was game in there. He was giving Lennox Lewis a good fight, but when that second bell rang for the second round, Lennox Lewis just jumped on him. Anyways, so around like 92, the man Tyson wasn't in the picture no more because he got sentenced into prison, in Indiana on that rape conviction. So at this given time, the WBC, they set up a 4-man tournament, you know what I mean? And actually one of these fights right here, this Razor Riddick versus Lennox Lewis I'm looking at, was one of those fights in that 4-man tournament. It was basically the winner of this fight, Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe, gets to fight the winner of Evander Holyfield, who at that time was an undisputed champion. He was going to fight Riddick Bowe. So whoever wins between Riddick Bowe and Holyfield fights the winner of Lewis and Razor Riddick. You know what I mean? And Razor Riddick was a tough dude, man. Razor Riddick had a couple wins before he got into this 4-man tournament, you know what I mean? Got a couple wins. Before those couple wins, he came off with 2 losses to Mike Tyson, He fought Tyson back to back, you know what I mean? And the first fight, he Tyson dropped him a couple times. He dropped him twice. And I think the fight got stopped in the 7th round, controversially, you know what I mean? The referee, I think it was Richard Steele, if I remember. I think Richard Steele jumped in and stopped the fight, because Tyson jumped on Razor Riddick, but he wasn't hurt to the point where the ref had to stop the fight. So, of course, they did a rematch, you know what I mean? Mike Tyson and Razor Riddick rematch, and this time the fight went the distance. And it was a tough fight, man. One of Mike Tyson's toughest fights in his career, you know what I mean? And this was Mike Tyson's last fight before he went to prison. And he went the distance with Razor Riddick, where he broke Razor Riddick's jaw early in the fight. Razor Riddick went the distance with a broken jaw, and Razor Riddick even busted Mike Tyson's eardrum. That goes to show you what kind of grueling, intense physical combat this fight was about, you know what I mean? And Razor, and that fight, Mike Tyson was gonna fight sometime. I think that was around like 91, and in that winter of 91, I recall, the man Tyson was gonna fight Evander Holyfield to try to get his belts back. You know what I mean? Because at this time Holyfield was undisputed champ after beating Buster Douglas, and you already know Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson in 1990. All right, so Razor Reddick versus Razor Reddick versus Lennox Lewis in this WBC heavyweight four-man um tournament. The man Razor Reddick, man, Lennox Lewis got Razor Reddick out of there in like 2 rounds, man. You know, he shocked the whole world because, you know, at this time, Lennox Lewis wasn't really known on the world scale as far as on the heavyweight scene, you know what I mean? And of course, everybody knew Razor Reddick with those 2 tough fights he gave Mike Tyson. But Lennox Lewis got him out of there in emphatic fashion in 2 rounds, you know, and at this time, you know, Lennox Lewis now is next up to fight the winner of Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe. And Riddick Bowe beat the man in the first fight. They fought 3 times, and Riddick Bowe beat Evander Holyfield in the first time they met, and he took all 3 belts from him. You know what I mean? That was Evander Holyfield's first loss in his career. So now Riddick Bowe is the heavyweight champion of the world. His mandatory is Lennox Lewis. So now they went through a couple negotiations, and the man Riddick Bowe was outpricing himself. You know what I mean? They were trying to make the fight on HBO, and Riddick Bowe was outpricing himself. He was asking for a 90-10 split. He takes 90 and give Lennox Lewis 10%. And you already know, since Riddick Bowe was now the undisputed heavyweight champ of the world with the WBC, WBA, and the IBF title, the fight was gonna happen in the United States. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? So you know that them negotiations ain't go through. I think they had a second negotiation, and on the third negotiation, the second one didn't go through. So Lennox Lewis and these guys, they made Rock Newman, who was what's his name, manager. Rock Newman was Riddick Bowe's manager. He was a really colorful guy, real vocal, and you know he spoke with a kind of southern twang. You know what I mean? He had a real funny accent. You know what I'm saying? But you know he wrote for his man Riddick Bowe. Man, he was always beside him. Man, he always, you know, gave him encouragement like he was the best. Told him he's the best heavyweight in the world. Anyways, on the third negotiation, they declined Lennox Lewis and them offers, so that fight was off. It wasn't happening, and the man, what's his name, Riddick Bowe vacated the belt, the WBC belt. The man held a press conference and he vacated the WBC belt in front of the whole world. He threw the WBC belt in the trash. You know what I'm saying? And he told the man, basically told the media that, you know, he was saying Lennox Lewis, if he wants to, you know, he wants this belt, he can come get it out the trash, because that's what he is. He called him like a trash man or a garbage man or something like that. So, you know, this fight, from the outside, you know, everybody thinking that the man Riddick Bowe, everybody thinking Riddick Bowe is scared of Lennox Lewis now. You know, maybe, you know, because he beat him in the amateurs in the Olympic game, in the Olympic gold medal game. So maybe, you know, Rock Newman and his team were trying to protect Riddick Bowe because, you know, they probably felt this man Lennox Lewis is a problem. And, you know, because, you know, they both were the same height. Lennox Lewis had that long 84-inch reach, you know what I mean? And so this fight wasn't happening. And, you know, from the outside looking in, you know, we could say he was scared. But, you know, he didn't want to fight him. And the WBC and the man Riddick Bowe would make excuses like, you know, the WBC is a corrupt organization and a sanctioning body, and you know he was talking about Don King's corrupt, and he don't want to deal with nothing with Don King, and Don King pays the WBC to get his fighters to get in the top rankings in the top ranks in the WBC ratings. You know what I'm saying? So he vacated the belt, and those were his excuses, you know. But Lennox Lewis now picked up that vacated WBC belt. He ain't even had to fight nobody for it. Now he was recognized as WBC heavyweight champ of the world. He had a couple defenses of that belt. I want to say 2, maybe 3. And then he ran into Oliver McCall, who was a heavy underdog, and Oliver McCall got him out of there. You know what I'm saying? He knocked him out. You know, and Oliver McCall became the new WBC heavyweight champ of the world. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, Lennox Lewis was being trained by his coach was Pepe Correa. So after that knockout to Oliver McCall, he switched to Emmanuel Stewart, became his trainer now. And matter of fact, even Emmanuel Stewart was Oliver McCall's trainer that night when he beat Lennox Lewis. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. The man Riddick Bowe went on to defend his title, the WBA and IBF title, a couple of times. Fought guys like former world champ Michael Dokes. He beat Jesse Ferguson. Riddick Bowe got both these guys out of there within 1 or 2 rounds. And then he fought Holyfield in the rematch, and we already know what happened in that fight. You know, Fanboy came in. That was a fanboy fight. I said fanboy. Fan man, the man who came with a kind of propeller on his back, a parachute, and landed in the middle of the ring when Riddick Bowe and Holyfield were fighting. You know what I mean, at Caesar's Palace. So, you know, so this video is about, man, you know, this is a fight we never got to see, but what would happen if they fought in 93, you know what I mean? At this, you know, in my opinion, at this given time in 93, Riddick Bowe was a better all-around fighter, you know what I mean? He had a good inside game. Lewis ain't have an inside game, and he also had an outside game, and Lennox Lewis, he was more raw at this point in time in 93. This before he had his big dreadlocks, you know what I'm saying? This man, you know, he was raw at this particular time, and he wasn't it looked like the man Riddick Bowe was more of a complete fighter, you know what I mean? You know, which don't make sense why he wouldn't fight him, but maybe Riddick Bowe and his team knew something we didn't about if he could beat Lennox Lewis, you know what I mean? But I think he would you know, I think if the fight happened in 98, like times when, or if it, like when Lennox Lewis was fighting Evander Holyfield, you know, I definitely would have Lennox Lewis beating Riddick Bowe. But I'm talking about in 93 when that fight was supposed to happen. You see, this ain't a mythical matchup. These are fights. This is a fight right here that coulda, shoulda taken place. You know what I'm saying? Both of them were in the same era. You know, both of them were young. You know what I mean? At the same, you know, and both of them were undefeated. You know what I mean? So you know, I'd pick Lennox Lewis at any given time if he had Emmanuel Stewart in his corner, because when he got with Emmanuel Stewart, he started working behind that jab, you know, and to set up that right hand. He would box, you know, from a distance, you know what I'm saying? And if guys get closer to him, he lean on them, you know, basically like how Klitschko do, you know what I mean? So, you know, if the fight happened in 93, just off the fact that the man Riddick Bowe, even though he was much bigger than Holyfield, he beat Holyfield. You know, I would give him the edge because he was a better all-around fighter. You know what I mean? Lennox Lewis was still unproven at the time, but like I said, if the fight happened later, maybe 90, 98, or any time after Lennox Lewis got with Emmanuel Stewart, I'd definitely go with Lennox Lewis all day. At the end of the day, Lennox Lewis was a better champion, the greater fighter, and had a better career than Riddick Bowe. You know what I mean? I think Riddick Bowe underachieved a little bit. He used to like to eat. He used to love eating, likes his cakes and all that. His mom was cooking. So, you know, that was his problem, trying to, you know, staying in shape. But yeah, man, you know, fight fans, let me know what y'all think about this video. Who would you have winning, Lennox Lewis or Riddick Bowe around 1993? You know, give me your thoughts and comments in the comments section below. You know, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. And let's talk about it. Riddick Bowe versus Lennox Lewis. What would have happened in 1993? Who would have won? This is my channel, B Marsh. If you like the content, please subscribe. Alright, y'all. Thanks for listening, and I'm going to see y'all on the next video. Alright, y'all. Peace.